Catholic.
You could have 12 kids.
I know. It's dangerous.
Of course it is.
It's completely dangerous.
And stupid.
I'm on your side.
Well, what are you going to do? Trick them and take birth control?
It's just, I don't know. Catholics, they have a lot of kids. This is just.
Yes.
I didn't choose this life.
That was a thing when I was a kid. Really. Bad for the planet.
I know.
Let's not get into that right away. I mean,
kids are bad for the planet.
Well, everything.
They're pretty eco-friendly, actually. Adults are bad for the planet.
Well, they're not eco-friendly in the sense that they're going to have kids, and you're just making more people who are using resources. People who argue about planet and. Elon Musk, I don't understand his whole thing about we should have more people. It's like there's room. Of course there's room. It's not about room. It's about resources. We don't have the resources. We have the room. We just don't have, I read just the other day where what did they call the groundwater? We've already sucked out all the groundwater that we can possibly use. There's just not enough rain falling for all your kids. It's all about you, Candice.
I feel like in 2 years, you're going to have a totally different perspective on all that. Because I've seen your growth and where you were a few years ago to where you are now.
No.
And, Elon Musk, I think, is probably pretty educated about the planet resources. Do you think?
No.
No?
Not necessarily. Not either of you, if you think that we can somehow keep putting people on the planet which has a finite amount of resources. Oh, don't you not believe in the moon landings?
Well, first off, I know what I'm talking about with the climate stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and promote.
Well, you're not the only one. That it's okay if we shade the truth to get people on our side, and I don't agree with that. I'm always.
They lied every time.
Well, not every time.
What was your climate disaster growing up? Mine was global warming. They don't even say it anymore. They don't. They went from global cooling to global warming.
They never were in global. No one was ever talking about. It was one. That's such a stupid talking point that you keep repeating. It's a zombie lie. It was one article in one magazine in one day, 1 week in Newsweek or something. Nobody was talking about global cooling. Yes, we understand that the planet is always changing. That's a different story.
No, there was a whole climate alarmism via the IPCC for global cooling.
No, there wasn't.
Okay. There was.
But do you believe people landed on the moon?
Well, let's just back that up.
Because if you don't, then I think that's
no.
I think that really sets a standard for this discussion.
You are taking something that was a Twitter.
You can't answer it?
Joke. I'm going to answer your question,
Okay.
but I'm just trying because I think you should add context because what you're doing now is you're jumping away from an actual meaningful discussion about climate change and the hoax that's surrounding it and making people fearful to have children. And you're all going, well, didn't you once tweet when I said, literally, I said in the tweet, let's have some fun today. What is one conspiracy theory that almost got you and that you think could possibly be real? And I said, the one that always gets me every time is the moon landing. How come we haven't gone back? So you're taking this one tweet where people then shared the things that they think that were not really serious or political on this long thread to now apply to a conversation about climate change.
Okay, but just to be
That feels
clear,
a little
people did land on the moon.
I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
I don't know.
I do know.
I just want to know why we didn't go back.
We did go back.
Did we go back? What year?
To the moon?
We people on the moon?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm asking a serious question. When did we go? When did we go back to people walking on the moon? 69. Okay.
July 20th, 1969.
Yeah.
We went back 10 more times.
Who went back? Who walked on the moon?
America. No,
but what were the astronauts' names? Educate me.
Who the fuck remembers what the astronauts' names were?
It's a pretty big deal to walk on the moon.
The first guy, and then after that, yes.
Who else walked on it?
I don't remember the name. Another dozen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another dozen humans walked on the moon?
Yes, Americans, all Americans.
Okay, we don't remember that.
We kept going back. Apollo 13 was the one they made the movie about. That was the one they aborted. But that was after we had landed. Apollo 11, I think, was
I'm not talking about space missions. I'm talking about actual people walking on the moon.
Yes, landing on the moon and walking on it. First of all, it is an impressive scientific feat. It's not out of the realm of how could that possibly happen? It's only 250,000 miles away. They had figured out enough to be able to do it, even with these shitty computers that they had in 1969. Yes, it's risky, and we did lose people doing it. But we did do it. I mean, plainly. I mean, the idea that you could think that this was some sort of hoax, I'm sorry, but it colors everything else.
I'm just saying that, like, I'm just not, like, I feel like you're just trying to find this one. Like, I've never talked about this on my show. You're literally talking about one funny tweet
It's
thread.
relevant.
It's really
it's
not that relevant.
that you won't say,
no,
absolutely, people walked on the moon. It's relevant.
I feel that you are finding an angle here to try to talk about something that I've never talked about on my podcast. I've never talked to people on a debate stage.
But it's out there. I read
college. You probably had a producer dig up what you thought were the most absurd tweets. Like, there's no way it's out.
Candice,
like you're saying it's out there. There's not even articles about this. It's so obscure that it's like literally. I mean, it said, like, let's have some fun. What are some of the things that, what are some conspiracy theories that you read that you have questions about? And I was like, the moon landing.
First of all, I promise you, there is no production on this show.
Well, no, it's a pretty niche thing. Of all the things I talk about and I'm known for, like, there wasn't even an article written about this about me.
I wasn't planning to talk about it.
Yeah, so it's like, how did you get here?
Because
you saw it on Twitter?
I got here, somehow I knew it.
But how?
Because it's out there.
But it's not even in my Wikipedia. Like, it's so obscure. It's so niche that I'm just, like, curious.
I don't think that's the case, because I think I read it in the Vanity Fair article about you.
No.
No?
Nope.
Well,
that's what I mean. It's not even relevant for, like, I've never ever had a single person sit down and ask me this question.
Well, then
so
I've
just
done
like,
America a service, because we find the baseline of your thinking. I'm sorry, but that is relevant. That you don't think men landed on the moon.
No, I just said I would, like, first off, what I specifically said was,
you don't know.
I want to know why. And I think even Elon Musk said this in his timepiece.
Ask him about it.
Yeah,
Ask him about the moon.
He did address it in his timepiece.
I think he probably believes it happened.
But I'm just not interested in this topic, like, at all. So it's just like you just came in so fiery about something that I am not known for. That was like an obscure tweet of, like, it started with "let's have some fun," and it was in a joking manner. And suddenly you're like, "How could you not believe the moon landing?" And I'm like, the energy is like a little.
My apologies. I don't want this to be adversarial.
No, it was just
if
surprising.
We hadn't got on to global warming,
that's something that I actually believe. So I'm okay to have this topic.
No, but I connected it to that because it was like, okay.
But I'm in the public sphere talking about that. I've had experts on my show talking about, like, Gregory Weinstein talked about his book about the climate change hoax. I care deeply about that because of the implications and how the climate change hoax and the trillions of dollars that are basically disappearing for things like Paris Accord agreement. Like, I'm very much on record in a sincere manner talking about that.
Not to beat a dead horse, but if you think the moon landing is a hoax, it colors my view of what you think of the global warming being a hoax.
Okay.
So let's get on.
But I never said the moon landing is a hoax.
Well, you said
I said name one conspiracy theory.
I asked you point
blank. Got you. I said I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about. I can't even debate you. You're sitting here telling me that 12 men have gone to the moon since. I don't know anything about it, and so I keep a very. I think that if there's one thing that people will say about me is I don't come into conversations about things that I don't know. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be an expert on the moon landing.
But you're such a brilliant person.
But on things that I actually know. So I'm willing to. I'm willing to, because I don't care.
Would you read about it?
I literally don't. It's to me.
Would you
it's
read
utterly
about it?
Inconsequential for the work that I do. I would. That's why I said fun thread. Tell me this. Like, we were like, tell me what's one conspiracy theory that you believe that we can look into. I mean, we really should pull the tweet, because it's weird that you're making this so severe, as if I was, like, on a talk show debating the moon landing. And so what I'm saying is I've never cared about this topic.
Because it's an undebatable topic.
I'm completely, like, if you want to. I did make it debatable.
You're making it debatable.
I don't think anyone watching this will think that I made this topic debatable. I think you've made this very debatable. All I told you was I sent a funny tweet, and it's a pretty obscure tweet that's never been ever discussed before today.
How's life in Nashville? Nashville's real, right?
Nashville is a real place, and I love Nashville. It's really great.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was just in Austin, Texas, and I feel like Austin and Nashville are the two places where the liberal diaspora, shall we call it, liberals who want to get away, and I certainly understand why. I live here in California. It is a ridiculous state that drives you insane. I totally get it. I'm too dug in here to make a change, and where else would I find Club Random? But I get it. I feel like those are the two places they go. They go to Austin and they go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Because you're not really out in the sticks. I mean, Austin's a pretty liberal town, and any city is blue, right? Okay. So you're out of, like, the fire, but you didn't go to the frying pan. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, for us, we were also between Texas and Tennessee for sure. We were probably between Chattanooga and Dallas. And we decided on Nashville because I think a lot more opportunities were happening. Like there was a lot of LA people coming, starting studios. Daily Wire moved their studio from LA to Nashville. So it felt like the right place. And I think at that time I was having kids. So you sort of naturally crave the suburbs when you have kids, obviously. Like the whole
And also,
New York,
by the way,
DC.
if I was a parent, well, first of all, there'd be unholy hell if I was a parent because probably we're going to be on the same page on this shit. Some of the stuff that goes on in the schools is just so cray-cray, and I would not be able to keep my mouth shut about it. Yeah. So I'm sure a state like Tennessee does not have laws that some of the blue states do where like the parents are not allowed to be notified by the school. They're actually prohibited if the kid changes their gender. Like they say that would be outing the student to a parent?
Right.
Outing is a word we even use in connection with a parent? Shouldn't everything be out to the parent?
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm singing from your hymnal now.
Am I allowed to have an opinion on this, or
no?
Is my
I'm
tweet
just trying to make
just
up for my faux pas with the moon.
I just don't care. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I don't care about that at all. I literally not thinking about it, and I wouldn't have ever picked a debate with somebody about something that I just.